Monday, 15th of April, 1771. At 5 in the evening anchored under Penguin or Robin Island, in 10 fathom of water. This island extending from west-northwest to south-southwest, distant 1/2 or 2 miles. The Cape of Good Hope hath been so often described by authors, and is well known to Europeans, that any descriptions I can give of it may appear unnecessary. However, I cannot help observing that most authors, particularly the author of Mr. Byron's Voyage, have heightened the picture to a very great degree above what it will bear, so that a stranger is at once struck with surprise and disappointment, for no country we have seen this voyage affords so barren a prospect as this, and not only so in appearance but in reality. The land over the Cape, which constitutes the peninsula formed by Table Bay on the north and False Bay on the south, consists of high barren mountains. Behind these to the east, or what may be called the isthmus, is a vast extensive plain, not 1,000 part of which either is or can be cultivated. The soil consists mostly of a light kind of sea sand, producing hardly anything but heath. Every inch of ground that will bear cultivation is taken up in small plantations consisting of vineyards, orchards, kitchen gardens, hardly any two lay together, but are dispersed at some distance from another. If we may judge from the circumstances, the interior part of this country is not more fertile. That is, the fertile land bears a very small proportion to the whole. We were told that they have settlements 28 days' journey inland, which is computed at 900 English miles, and thus far they bring provisions to the Cape by land carriage. It is also said that the Dutch farmers are so dispersed about the country that some have no neighbours within 4 or 5 days' journey of them. Admitting these to be facts, and it will at once appear that the country in general cannot be very fertile, for it would be absurd to suppose that they would raise provisions at such an immense distance, where the trouble and expense of bringing them to market must increase in proportion, could it be done nearer. The Dutch assign another reason for being obliged to extend their scattered settlements so far inland, which is that they never disturb the original natives, but always leave them in peaceable possession of whatever lands they may have appropriated to their own use, which in some places is pretty extensive, and that probably none of the worst, by which good policy the new settlers very seldom, if ever, meet with any disturbance from the natives. On the contrary, many of them become their servants and mix among them, and are useful members to society. Notwithstanding the many disadvantages this country labours under, such is the industry, economy, and good management of the Dutch, that not only the necessaries but all the luxuries of life are raised here in as great abundance, and are sold as cheap, if not cheaper, than in any part of Europe, some few articles excepted. Naval stores, however, do not want for price, and more here than they do at Batavia. These are only sold by the company, who have a certain fixed exorbitant price from which they never deviate. The inhabitants of the Cape Town are in general well bred and extremely civil and polite to all strangers. Indeed, it is their interest to do so, for the whole town may be considered as one great inn, fitted up for the reception of all comers and goers. Upon the whole, there is perhaps not a place in the known world that can equal this in affording refreshments of all kinds to shipping. The bay is capacious, pretty safe, and commodious. It lies open to the northwest winds, which winds we are told very seldom blow strong, but sometimes send in a great sea, for which reason ships more northeast than southwest, and in such a manner as to have an open house with northwest winds. The southeast wind blows frequently with great violence, but as this is right out of the bay, it is attended with no great danger.